Hey everyone, and welcome back to the True Alien Podcast, your daily dose of the strange, the unexplained, and yeah, let's face it, sometimes the hilariously bizarre. I'm your host, Adrian Smith, and I'm excited for today's paranormal probe.
Hello, everyone. Julia Jones here. Thrilled to be joining you all again. So, Adrian, ready to put on those paranormal goggles and see what we can make of today's tale? It sounds like we've got a real doozy.
We do, Julia, we really do. Forget those grainy photos and hushed whispers we hear so much about. Today we're diving headfirst into a story about a teenager who gets mistaken for a space pirate.
A galactic case of mistaken identity. You know, Adrian, it's funny how often these mix-ups seem to happen in the vastness of space, at least according to the stories we dig up. It makes you wonder if the universe has a sense of humor.
Maybe it does, Julia. Our source for today's paranormal probe is a fictional story called Intergalactic Intern. Now, full disclosure, it's a made-up tale.
Yeah.
But the sheer ridiculousness of it all really got us thinking.
Like those stories that really make you think, what if, right? Even if it's just for a moment.
Exactly. So let's set the scene. Our protagonist is a perfectly ordinary teenager named Finn Palmer, already having a bad hair day thanks to a truly atrocious haircut.
Ugh, we've all been there, right? Bad hair days are a universal experience.
They really are. But Finn's bad hair day is about to get a whole lot worse, because in a truly unexpected turn of events, an alien bursts into his room demanding the Eye of Zargon.
Just another Tuesday afternoon, right? I mean, who hasn't had an alien barge and demanding intergalactic artifacts?
Well, I certainly haven't. But I can only imagine the shock on poor Finn's face.
I bet his first thought wasn't even about the alien itself, but more like, of all days for this to happen, why today when my hair looks like this?
You know what, Julia? That's probably spot on teenagers and their priorities, right?
Absolutely. And the story captures that, so, well, Finn's immediate reaction is to offer the alien contacts or glasses, thinking maybe that's the problem.
You know, in the face of the utterly absurd, it's often those little human reactions that are the funniest. And then there's the detail about the alien's breath described as smelling like garlic-flavored meteoroids.
Okay, that's a new one. Garlic-flavored meteoroids. Where can I get some of those?
Beats me, Julia. But it certainly paints a vivid picture.
It does. And it makes you wonder what kind of crazy space snacks this alien has been munching on.
Right. So anyway, this alien isn't just relying on intimidation. He whips out a glowing poster of the guy he's after, Zoltan, the terrible scourge of the nebula. But here's the kicker. The picture is described as this pixelated monstrosity with 7 eyes and a truly awful nose ring.
7 eyes, a bad nose ring. Honestly, you'd think an intergalactic supervillain could afford a better publicity photo.
Right. You'd think image would be everything for a guy like Zoltan the Terrible.
Mm.
But apparently not. And of course, Finn, standing there in his superhero pajamas, is completely bewildered.
Can you imagine? I mean, you're just a teenager in your PJs, and suddenly some alien mistakes you for a 7-eyed space pirate with a fashion sense that's out of this world, or maybe just stuck in the wrong galaxy?
And the alien is completely convinced. Insists on using galactic facial recognition to confirm Finn's identity as Zoltan.
It's like this advanced alien technology is completely useless against a bad photo and a healthy dose of teenage awkwardness. Talk about a cosmic fail.
So despite Finn's protests, the alien lunges at him. But our pajama-clad hero isn't giving up without a fight.
Ah, this is where it gets good. Tell us how Finn fights back.
Picture this, fueled by a surge of adrenaline and probably a good dose of teenage awkwardness. He manages to dodge the alien, grab his backpack, and use his textbooks as weapons.
Textbooks. Now that's what I call using your head.
Right. Who knew algebra could be so useful in a fight with an alien?
It just goes to show you learning is power in all sorts of unexpected ways.
And the escape is straight out of a comedy. Finn vaults out his bedroom window, landing right in Mrs. Patel's prize-winning azaleas.
Mrs. Patel, the ever-present neighbor, I bet she had something to say about that.
You bet she did. But not about the alien trying to abduct her neighbor.
What?
Mrs. Patel is far more concerned about overdue library fines. Apparently, she thinks Finn is Zoltan, and he owes her a hefty sum.
Overdue library fines. Talk about having your priorities straight.
It's a hilarious little detail, right? Like, even in the face of an intergalactic crisis, some things are just too important to ignore.
It's those little moments that ground the story in reality, even amidst all the craziness.
Absolutely. So now Finn is a wanted fugitive on the run from intergalactic law enforcement. His face, complete with a terribly photoshopped nose ring, is plastered everywhere. The charge, stealing the universe's Wi-Fi password.
Stealing the universe's Wi-Fi password. That's a new one. They really went all out with this, didn't they?
They did. And the absurdity of it all just adds to the humor. Desperate Finn reaches out to his best friend, Aureli, Now, Arlai is no ordinary friend. She's a conspiracy theorist extraordinaire, a lover of all things sci-fi.
Sounds like the perfect person to have on your side when you're being hunted by aliens.
You got it. Arlie doesn't freak out. She thrives on this kind of chaos.
Dude, you're space famous, she exclaims.
I bet she was secretly thrilled. This is probably like every conspiracy theorist's dream come true. You're probably right. And her reaction is just perfect. A mix of excitement and a slightly inappropriate crush on the evil mastermind version of Finn.
It's that kind of humor that makes the story so relatable. Even in the face of the unbelievable, there's still room for teenage crushes and awkwardness.
So with Arlie's enthusiastic support, they go into hiding. Tinfoil hats are involved naturally, courtesy of Arlie.
Of course, you can't be too careful with those mind control rays.
Exactly. And they're dumpster diving for food. A classic on-the-run scenario made even funnier by the fact that they're hiding from space cops.
It's those little details that elevate the humor, right? The contrast between the extraordinary and the mundane.
And amidst all this, Finn decides to take matters into his own hands. He tries to hack into the galactic database to clear his name. Talk about initiative.
Hacking into a galactic database, that takes some serious skills. I bet those computer classes finally paid off.
They sure did. And in a truly bizarre twist, he discovers that the real Zoltan is exactly as advertised, a seven-eyed terror, but with a surprising fashion, quirk, a love of polka dots.
Polka dots? Really, polka dots? You'd think a space pirate would have more of a skull and crossbones aesthetic.
Right. But nope, polka dots, it is. And as if things weren't crazy enough, the bounty hunters arrive.
Bounty hunters! Oh boy, this is where the fun really begins. Tell us about these intergalactic bounty hunters.
Well, first up, there's the reptilian fashionista, who's utterly horrified by Finn's superhero pajamas. Apparently they're gauche, but perfectly acceptable for galactic prison wear.
Fashion police even in space? Makes you wonder about the dress code in galactic prison.
And then there's the sludge creature who tries to dissolve Finn on the subway. Talk about a messy commute.
You think they'd have some kind of regulations about that sort of thing? Public transportation is hazardous enough as it is.
And my personal favorite is the hyperactive robot, who offers Finn breath spray right before trying to apprehend him.
Because even intergalactic criminals need fresh breath, right?
Apparently so. So life as the wrongly accused Zoltan the Terrible is, as you might imagine, utterly chaotic.
Exhausting, ridiculous, and I bet a little bit exhilarating all at the same time.
Exactly. But Finn and Arlai are nothing if not resourceful. In a moment of brilliance, they decide to break into Finn's school, and they have an unlikely accomplice, Mrs. Patel, armed with her trusty watering can.
Mrs. Patel is back. She just can't stay away from this intergalactic drama, can she?
She can't. And her unintentional assistance is crucial to their plan. They manage to pinpoint the real Zoltan's location and live stream his polka dot-themed crimes to the galactic police.
Live streaming space crimes, now that's entertainment.
And just like that, the tables turn. Finn's face is splashed across the news, no longer a wanted criminal, but a hero. Arlai, of course, has some suggestions for his new title, Zoltan the Kinda Brave, Zoltan the Pimple-Nosed Wonder.
Those are fantastic. I can totally see those headlines.
Right, and so the real Zoltan is apprehended surrounded by a pile of polka dot spaceships. Finn's life returns to something resembling normal.
Well, as normal as life can be after being mistaken for a space pirate.
True. But he does develop a few new habits like checking for tentacled creatures under his bed and a newfound respect for librarians.
Always good advice. Never underestimate the power of a librarian.
And that badly drawn wanted poster complete with the awful nose ring ends up in Orly's room, a souvenir of their crazy adventure.
A reminder that sometimes the most unbelievable stories start with the most ordinary of events. A bad haircut, an alien mix-up, who knew where that could lead?
So Julia, looking back at Finn's wild ride, it really highlights the absurdity of it all. A galactic case of mistaken identity sparked by a simple haircut and a blurry photo.
It makes you think, doesn't it? Could something as mundane as a mix-up, a wrong number, a misinterpretation lead to something extraordinary, even if it's not on an intergalactic scale? What seemingly insignificant events in our own lives might have unforeseen, maybe even hilarious consequences down the road?
It's a thought-provoking question for sure.
Yeah.
And on that note, we conclude today's Paranormal Probe on the True Alien Podcast. Thanks for joining us on this wild ride into the world of mistaken identity, space pirates, and the unexpected consequences of a bad haircut.
Until next time, keep those paranormal goggles handy. You never know what strange and wonderful things may be lurking just around the corner.
And we'll be here to explore them all. Join us again tomorrow for more journeys into the unexplained.